It was the 6th century BCE. Pythagoras was afraid of beans. Yeah, look it up. Greeks were competing in the Olympics butt naked. Romans thought left-handed people were cursed. The Egyptians were holding state funerals for their cats. That's when some Indian thinkers and physicians were writing research paper on medicine. The papers that became foundation for the ancient medicinal art of Ayurveda. The research paper series Compendium of Susruta not only talks about medicine, but it also talks about first written mention of how to make ghee. Many renowned chefs on YouTube will have you believe that ghee is just a two-step process. Just get butter, melt it, and clarified butter equals ghee.
Ghee is clarified butter, then zero. Ghee is butter. Ghee is butter. Clarified butter. Yeah, that's another one of the fats. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't use butter. I only use ghee. Same shit.
We're gonna be turning this butter into ghee, or in other words, clarified butter.
Guys, did you know you can make your own ghee at home? It's so easy, and all you need is a box of butter, ghee, or clarified butter. It's actually really simple.
No! 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 No more calling ghee and clarified butter the same thing.
What guarantees can I give you, Mike?
That's blasphemy! Or defamation at the least. Hey, Italians. I know how angry you get when someone messes up some pasta. On behalf of all Indians, I truly apologize for whatever the fuck tandoori pasta is. Help me out here. These guys are messing up with age-old traditions.
Not approved.
The real recipe of ghee has more steps, and rightfully so, and we'll talk about it towards the end of the video. This process is not for lazy bums. This is for those of you who really take pride in doing something right. Hi, I am Saga Joshi, and on this episode of Something Cooked, we're making some ghee the right way. First things first, like a ghost in a ghetto, ghee is pronounced with a hard H. It's not a G, it's not a ghee, it's not glee, it's ghee. Ghee. When milk evolves, it metamorphosizes into 7 different avatars. And we're going to talk about all of those, and all of those are pretty much useful. Milk, cream, dahi, which is Indian yogurt, full-fat dahi, buttermilk, white butter, and lastly, ghee. If you haven't seen why chai tea latte is a live video, why are you doing this to me? You would have known that milk, when boiled, gets a top layer of cream. And we saved that. And I told you in that video that you can use that to do other things. And this is a callback. Make sure you use high-fat milk. I use about 3.5% fat, so don't go with 2%. Go with full fat, 3.5%. So you boil milk, there'll be a layer of cream on top. You save that cream in a different container. Once you have a week or 2 worth of cream stored in your container, that's when you can start working on ghee. Here is a couple of weeks worth of cream that I've saved. Now I'll add a starter dahi to this cream.
Oh, Stager, what if I don't have dahi? Can I use yogurt?
No, yogurt is not dahi. Well, you can use yogurt, but it just won't taste the same because it uses really controlled strains of bacteria. Dahi is made using lactobacillus and other natural bacteria that are laying around and chilling in your kitchen. Well, if you don't have dahi starter, what do? You can ask for a starter from your Indian friend or just go to an Indian store. I'm sure they have dahi there. If you have absolutely no access to dahi at all, you can make dahi on your own. The success rate for this is about 50% or so. So it worked for me. It will work for you, or it may not. Just try it again. So to make dahi, you're gonna need milk and chilies. No. You can put chili stems into your milk to help it set. Scientifically, it works not because chilies have bacteria in them. Chilies and other vegetables basically make a perfect place for bacteria to live and chill. So let's start with milk. Heat your milk, don't boil it, not lukewarm, not scalding hot, just hot. Let's put some green chili stems in it. The lactobacillus bacteria gets in your milk and starts eating the lactose, which is sugars in milk. It goes, nom, 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 nom. I love this. I'm gonna make some energy out of this. And I'm gonna poop out some lactic acid. And that's how dahi is made. It will take probably around 16 hours or so. So you put your starter in the milk and then set it aside. If you live in a cold place, it's gonna be hard to keep things warm. So if you have an oven, you can just put the whole thing in the oven and just turn the light on. Whatever heat you get from that incandescent yellow light, that's enough for it to be warm. Once you have your dahi, either from a store or you have made it your own, now we make high-fat dahi. Let's get back to the story. We have our high-fat cream that we have saved over a couple of weeks. We add our starter dahi that either we got from grocery store or we made it on our own to the cream, stir it well, and then store that for another 8 to 10 hours. We're back 10 hours later, and here is our high-fat dahi. Now we churn this like crazy with some water. If you're rich and you have a KitchenAid, you can use it and get nice blob and like ball of churned white butter. And if you're poor like me and you use hand mixer, you're gonna get really frothy butter. Nothing to worry about. Just wash your hands with soap really well, dry your hands, and then just like scoop all the frothy butter together and you can make it into a ball. You put it aside, water will release, and now you have white butter. It's so good. It's white in color, unlike the regular butter, and it tastes a little sweeter. It's fluffier. You can use it as a bread topping. It has a more moisture content than regular butter, so I wouldn't really recommend it to fry things, but you can saute some vegetables in it. It gives it a nice flavor. Nice. Now the next thing is finally to make ghee. And this is where all of these YouTube chefs and I have something in common. You take this ball of white butter, you add it to a heavy bottom pan, put your pan to the lowest heat possible, and then wait. It will take about half an hour for your white butter to melt, and the process will look slightly different than what it is for clarified butter. You will get a ton of bubbles in the beginning, like crazy bubbles, and over time they will die down and you'll get teeny tiny little bitty bubbles. And once you have that, now you'll see that the milk solids are sort of brown. They're not burnt, they're just brown. And the liquid ghee is on top, and now it's ready to be strained. So you get your handy dandy dry ghee vessel. It can be stainless steel, it can be glass. Just don't use plastic because things are very hot, and just strain it. And once you have strained it, it will look yellowish or whitish. It can tint between an off-white color to somewhat yellowish. It's not going to be like super yellow like you see in just clarified melted butter. It is going to be liquid in the beginning. At room temperature, it's going to be solid. Well, there are some similarities between clarified butter and ghee. They're both shelf stable, so they're gonna last for a long time. They both have really high burning point, which means you can cook your food really well and the ghee itself or the butter itself is not gonna burn. What are the main differences? Flavor and consistency. Because the cream was fermented with this bacteria before butter was churned, the flavor is much more tangy and the consistency is a bit rough because the microstructure is slightly different for clarified butter versus ghee. Moreover, there is a ton of medicinal properties that you can read through the book by Sushruta that was written in 6th century BCE. It's on Amazon, translated in English. It's a good read if you're a medical student. One of the reasons I use it for medicinal properties is when I get nosebleeds in winters. So instead of waiting to get nosebleeds, just take some ghee that's made the right way and then just coat your nostrils with it before you fall asleep. And I haven't had any nosebleeds since. It will feel weird, it will smell like ghee, but you'll get used to it. Anyways, enough about my nostrils. Don't believe everything that these chefs tell you on YouTube. There's always small nuances that people usually don't know about, even if they're really, really good chefs. So, clarified butter is not ghee. If someone tells you that, show them this video, tell them why, and make ghee at home. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you like it. And if you tell me what you feel in the comments, I'll send you a love you note. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, and wait for our next video. My wife puts out a poetry video every Saturday at 4 p.m. And I am going to put out 1 or 2 videos every week. Keep posted. Love you. Bye.